this is, you've heard of a, what is this called?
A cajon.
A cajon, sorry.
C-A-J-O-N.
Sometimes I forget, because people call it other things. They call it like a box drum. Do you want to do the podcast?
My bad. It is hot today.
Trying to warn you,
Will you go get my diaper bag? I need to change it.
Did you bring Lucas with you today?
I'm bringing him next week.
So Jared, I don't know what this is. I put this up here because I was ready to start. I just wanted something silly. So you can make that the thumbnail if you want to.
Your head wasn't in that at all, but maybe I'll just.
That's most pictures. So Jared started the podcast today. Good morning.
Good morning.
Jared started the podcast today their baby is he 3 weeks old? He's not even a month old.
You know what's funny?
Why is the microphone over there?
Check. Hey, can y'all hear me now? It's just a rough day, I think. I think Lucas came in here last night and made my life harder. I blame Spencer Dunn for this. Because when I leave the studio, I don't move the mic. So, Spencer, we're cutting your pay in half. Could you do that?
Do what?
Just make it.
Can you do his dog for you, please?
I'm going to go home.
This is still probably in the shot.
No, it's not. We're good.
That's not in the shot?
Not even close.
Okay.
What you got there?
Welcome to the podcast, everyone. Now we're starting. All that other stuff. Sometimes, see, Barry's here now for the second week in a row, and he's saying, you think that was crazy what just happened? You should see what Pastor and I get into sometimes. So I just brought I brought a couple visual aids, but now they're all gone. This really caught my eye. Mm-hmm. I know you love this book.
I love that book.
This is one of Pastor Barry's favorite leadership books.
Yeah.
The 4 Disciplines of Execution, which actually I got to ask you about another leadership book in a second. But you know what I noticed this morning, which I'm sure you've seen this before, but now I know why this is your favorite leadership book. Can you see this, Jared?
Yeah.
It's by Chris McChesney.
Yeah, that's my Scottish cousin.
Is that his Wade? Is that his right?
Is this your pen name? You wrote this, didn't you?
Well, I'll try to be humble about it, but now that you're asking me, yes.
Are you asking me a direct question? Anyway, be on the lookout for the 5 Disciplines of Execution by Shane McBullis, coming out very soon. Where is there? There's got to be an author named Shane McBullis, right? Is there a Mick for every name? Catch this, Jared. Is there a Mick for every single name? McHorstman. That's the Scottish German when the Scots and the Germans come together. This guy. Do you know a lot of your family history? Has there somebody that's mapped it all
Just
out?
a little bit. My dad has done some of that.
Some of the genealogy?
There's some Scottish in there, but yeah, he would know a lot more than I would.
So if you're already Scottish as a Chesney, imagine how more Scottish you have to be to put the Mick in front of it.
Yeah.
McChesney. My mom, it's so funny. My mom sent me this history. She actually sent it to me snail mail, which is so. I love it when my mom does it. She sent me this nice note, and she said, "Take a look at this thing from the Kirkwood family history, because that's her side of the family is the Kirkwoods." And one of the, you're gonna love this. So there's a lot of maybe not many pastors, but a lot of lay church leaders in that family.
Yeah.
And one guy was quoted as saying, if a Kirkwood is not a Presbyterian, that shows he's been tampered with.
So you have been tampered with.
Heavily tampered with. And somewhere along the way, the covenant was broken, and here I am, heretically baptizing people by immersion. How dare I?
Oh, that's funny.
We had, you had a really meaningful baptism yesterday.
Oh my goodness, that was so special. Isabel Vines and her husband was saved about a year ago, and man, that has been such a journey, and so many people involved in that, in her story. And I remember the day Corey called and said, "Isabel's come to Christ." It was just overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. I love moments.
She had about an hour-long conversation with Sherry Burgess that morning, and it was just her time. Yeah.
It was really cool just seeing how many people came to the baptistry to be there. And I love that we do that. You know, people say, you know,
I do
just
too.
giving that affirmation.
Yeah.
People coming close, gathering at the
Yeah,
waters.
that is a family that has been radically changed, and it's just unbelievable to see Corey's holding their Penny, I think maybe 2 or 3 year old daughter, and life is different for them now, you know. So yeah, it was a great example of the power of the gospel.
It really strengthens my faith to see things like that.
Yeah,
And Lord help us, because it should strengthen our faith as well, you know, to watch young children come to faith, that sort of thing. Long obedience in a single direction, that should also strengthen our faith. But those kinds of miraculous turnarounds are really helpful.
yeah, and they're eager to serve the Lord, and they're growing, and you know, that's one of those generational turns that now
Yeah.
from this point forward, everything is different for their family. It's just powerful. So it was just fun to be a part of it.
Speaking of families, wow, so many of them were represented yesterday.
Yeah.
With all of the children. We had the 3 different graded ministry choirs.
Yeah, at which they sounded amazing. Jackson Brainerd was unbelievable.
Jackson did an awesome job.
Vocally, but just felt like his heart was in it, and he just did such a great job.
He has a great presence
Mm-hmm.
on stage, you know, and he was just so collected the
Mhm.
whole time. Fine young man, Jackson Brand, and
Mhm.
his other, you know, he's got 3 brothers. They were
Yeah.
all up there singing as well.
Great family.
But then I was, especially in the second service, I was just blown away. Pastor Corey has done such a great job getting more people,
Mhm.
young people involved in the student choir.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at it on the live stream yesterday, and Andrew's up there leading, and it's
Yep.
just like,
Andrew did a great job.
it feels like he did do a great job.
Mhm.
It feels like half the church is up there. It's like,
Yeah.
I just wanted I didn't really say a lot, probably for the best, but I want the church to understand how great of a blessing this is.
Yeah. We just started the student choir, right? And
Right.
they filled the risers.
Yeah, they did. Now, we cheated a little bit with that, because a lot of those kids aren't available to come to rehearsal on Wednesday nights. So we did, so I guess that's a little behind the scenes there. But we're going to continue to do it that way. We're just
Yeah.
going to emphasize participation to help them understand that this is important. And I think it also helps them understand that, yeah, there's moments where we do like special songs, and those are great.
Mhm.
But for the most part, like, we just have part of the congregation over here and part of the congregation over here, and we're singing back and forth these psalms and hymns and
Yeah.
spiritual songs.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to communicate that. But besides all the nuts and bolts of it, an easier thing to understand, and you and me have talked about this a lot, is like, it's just, if the Lord is giving us new life with all these children, that's just a sign of His blessing.
Yeah, absolutely it is. Yeah.
And here it is in front of the whole church. Like, are you seeing this, everybody? This is more than, I didn't really count it, but I assume it was more than 100 with the
Yeah.
children and the.
You know, I've looked at Wednesday nights, just with elementary age children, last week there were 213 children.
That's just the elementary.
That's
age.
just elementary. Now, I don't know if that number includes adult workers or not, but nonetheless, over 200, and then about 110 preschoolers. So over 300, elementary
Wow.
age. And that's just children. Then you got
Yeah.
adults in the building, but that is super encouraging. Children that are learning the Word of God, they're having fun while they do it. It really is exciting. Our ladies downstairs are just doing an amazing job.
They really are. They're
Yeah.
they're organized. They're getting the parents involved. My kids love it. They like look forward. They're like, oh man, I can't wait till Wednesday, because they want to do Awana, and I help them get their verses ready. That has been really joyful and educational, and that's part of what we're doing with the choirs as well, because at every age, like, it doesn't matter what age you are. The Lord has called you to worship, and part of that worship is singing. So, just we practice scripture memorization, we practice prayer, we practice Bible reading. So of course, yeah, we do. There's an element where we should practice singing, whether you're good at it or not.
Yeah, that's right. That's part of your worship.
So, so we're doing that more, and I'm going to continue to. I forgot to say it yesterday, but yeah, I'm going to keep inviting the adults to choir as well, because we got Christmas coming up. Merry Christmas, Pastor Barry. Did I tell you that last week?
No, but thank you.
You're welcome.
We love Christmas.
Yeah, why wouldn't you,
Mhm.
right? Let's see. Oh yeah, we've got at least two more things we got to talk about before we jump into the message. One is, have you read this other leadership book? It's called Advanced Strategic Planning. It's Aubrey Malphurs.
Oh, Dr. Malphurs. No, I've not. I know what you're talking about. He was a longtime professor at Dallas Seminary, but I've not read it. No.
It's that's maybe we should have a conversation offline. But the stuff that he's outlining now, I totally see where all the Oxano and Replicate guys.
Okay.
Like I need to show it to you. It's,
Okay.
But it's way more detailed. And I'm like, man, this Malphurs guy is like wicked smart, as they say up in the Northeast. He's wicked smart. Aubrey Malphurs. So props. Second thing. Now you sent me an article this morning that was of dire importance.
Well, it's important to know culturally what's going on in the world
Yes,
as Christians.
very much
and
so.
The end of September, I just learned this last week. The end of September is called Fat Bear Week.
Yes.
Fat Bear Week happens in Alaska every year. They've done this since 2014. And what they're doing, the bears are storing up for hibernation. Okay, they're trying to get as fat as they can.
Yes. Amen.
And so what they do, it's a competition. So they and at first I wondered.
To be clear, the Bears themselves did not start the competition.
Yeah, so we just had a Wednesday night on gluttony recently. This probably would have been a good illustration for gluttony. But they eat as much as they possibly can, and then they go into hibernation and they lose about almost a third of their weight. Then they
Maybe
come out.
more, yeah.
But what they do, they take pictures of these bears. This is in a national park in Alaska. They're all grizzly bears, and they take pictures, like in June and July and August, and then they take the final one at the end of September, and whoever's the fattest is the champion. And so last year the champion was Grazer, fitting name.
It's a female.
Female, and then this year the champion, Grazer, was dethroned, and the champion is Chunk 32.
Chunk 32. Well, I think it's 32 Chunk.
32
For some
Chunk.
reason, they put the number first. I guess it has something to do with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and what's impressive about Chunk, or whatever, 32 Chunk, he had a broken jaw. And he still managed to just eat and eat and eat somehow. I just think that's fascinating. And people vote in. Last year, over 1 million people voted on who was going to be the fattest bear. So I just think it's interesting. What does that have to do with Christianity? I'm not sure.
Well, I'll tell you where my mind went, and it's not exactly great, but like you're talking about gluttony, like this guy was so committed to gorging himself that it didn't even matter that his jaw was broken.
He found a way somehow.
It kind of just shows like, nothing will keep you from sin apart from the power of the Lord.
That's right.
You want to go that you want to go that way with it? You want to
I
go the
like
sermon
it.
illustration?
Yeah, that spiritualizes it well.
I'll tell you one way. Another thing that I learned about Chunk. Did you know that he killed Grazer's cub?
I saw
Did you see that?
I saw that. Yeah.
Which was super sad.
I guess he was jealous he didn't win, and he just took it out on.
I'm surprised people voted for him, knowing that about him. But maybe it's just about the ends justify the means. Like it's whoever the
He
biggest
was
bear is.
about 1,200 pounds.
I did not know that
That's
bears
impressive.
could get that big.
Yeah.
1,200 pounds. I'm thinking like little Paddington Bear in the movies. He's like, he
I
can't
love
be more than
Paddington.
like 8. Have you watched those?
Oh, many times.
They are
yeah.
hilarious.
I love
Recommendation. Hugh Bonneville in those.
Oh,
he
he's
cracks me
outstanding. Yeah.
up. Oh man.
I love those movies.
Okay.
My kids love those movies.
They are a lot of fun. Man, we watched the third one a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And when he gets that spider on his face,
Yeah.
I was just crying. I was crying laughing. The British humor, God bless you. The British humor is so. Andrew, have you seen those? Okay.
Paddington 2 is my favorite.
The second one is really
Yeah,
good.
I
Who's the
love-
bad guy in that one?
Into my Knuckles, or he's the jail. Well, no, he turns into a good guy. Hugh. Is it Hugh Grant?
Hugh Grant, yeah. That's all. Yeah, all the British actors are named Hugh.
Yeah.
Hugh Grant, Hugh Laurie, Hugh Bonneville. You guys know the rest of them. There's no sense in repeating it. But
Yeah.
yeah. So wow. So we've had movie corner. We've had what is it? Biology corner, National Geographic discussion. And all you guys don't understand this. You'll have to listen to this podcast several times, but after you do, you'll understand how all of this perfectly segues into our discussion
Perfect.
on Caleb. We don't have time to go into it. You're going to have to discover that for yourself. John Sistrunk right now is getting like the red yarn in his basement, trying to figure out how this all. Shout out to John. Love you, John. All right, so here we are talking some about the story, the history of Caleb in the Old Testament, both in Numbers chapter 14, and then you also took us to Joshua chapter 14. Couple of different texts there. The life of Caleb, a life of faithfulness. And wow, you covered a lot of ground. Was there anything that you had to leave out that you want to start with? Make sure we get it in here.
That was mostly it. It was a lot to try to cover his whole life. I thought it was interesting. His name, I read, Dr. Robert Smith said this. He used to teach at Beeson.
Oh, yeah,
His name meant dog.
Really?
And if you think about that, Caleb says, I've wholeheartedly followed the Lord. And it's this idea of just this obedient dog that just does everything his master does. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I'd never heard that before. I'm going to remind that Caleb Gibson plays guitar almost every week, so I'm going to remind him that he's a dog. He a dog. I'll tell him that on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I took a few notes. Honestly, most of the notes that I took were things that you just said in passing that I was like, wow, that could be like a whole message, like if you wanted it to be. And one was that even after the people were sentenced to wandering in the wilderness, Caleb and Joshua remained faithful, and they were effectively trying to evangelize their own people to faith as they wandered around.
It's shocking to think 2 out of 603, 550,000, only 2 stayed faithful to God. It's unbelievable. But yeah, and to think of all those wilderness years of just getting up every day doing the same thing and not growing bitter and not growing like, guys, it didn't have to be this way, you know, like, and not just lashing out at them, but just going, okay, God, this is your plan and the promised land's coming.
So give me your pastoral read on this. So the people that passed away, obviously they had that temporal consequence. You don't get to see the promised land.
Yeah.
But do you think there was a number of them that still turned to faith and that we'll see them in heaven someday?
Yeah, I do. I don't know that I can give you a verse for that, you know, but that is something I wondered. I was working through this. But yes, I do think this was a discipline. It was a consequence. Did that mean every one of them was saved? I can't say that, but at least certainly 2 out of 600,000+ were probably not the only ones who believed in God, but they were certainly the only ones at that moment who trusted in Him, who who demonstrated their faith in Him.
And that passage in Numbers 14, like the way that it's heartbreaking. It goes
is.
into chapter 15, I think, as well, and just the way that people just express this, really just the hatred and turning away from God is so sad. Is there something? Oh, you got some in Hebrews.
I was thinking in Hebrews, I think it's in Hebrews 4, where it talks about the rest of God, and it's talking about the promised land, but it's ultimately talking about heaven. Where he said, if Joshua had given them rest, God would not have spoken. Well, anyway, I think some of them were saved. How many? I don't know. I mean, we're not told, but it is still shocking that many would turn just because of a bad report and fear and just failing to trust God. So
I had a good family devotional with the kids this week talking about the 10 plagues of Egypt.
Mhm.
And the more I look at those, the more I'm just amazed at the power of God. And it's tangible power on
Mhm.
display. Like you
Mhm.
can see all this. Like you're watching people get knocked out by hailstones, you know. You're watching the swarm of locusts come through and devour everything.
Mhm.
And yet, just a little while later, people are like, no, we don't believe in that God anymore.
Yeah. Well, and you think of the New Testament. Remember when in Luke 16, the rich man and Lazarus, and the rich man goes, yeah, but if
Yes.
someone rises from the dead and they come back, you know, my brothers, they're not saved. And Jesus, or Abraham goes,
Right.
even if someone rises from the dead, they won't believe. Like if you're constantly looking for signs, that's what some of the religious leaders would do to Jesus. You know, give us a sign.
Yes, I was just thinking that.
And
Like
you
no
know,
sign will be given to them except the sign of Jonah.
yeah, it doesn't matter what you do, they wouldn't believe. You know, so
Yeah, that goes back to like we're dependent upon the Spirit. You know, we
Yeah.
got to have the Spirit's intervention. We got to pray for the Spirit's intervention. Well, I'm about to make us run out of time, so let me just go lightning round a couple more of these things. Man, Caleb is such a bad dude. He is a dog, right? Because he asks for land. He asks for the hardest land. He's like, whatever. I'm taking the highland.
give me the hill country.
Man,
I love that.
I never knew that before. When you said that, I was like, oh my gosh, Caleb's my favorite. So
85 years old. And so Courtney asked me in between the services, or started the second one, she was like, I wonder if it was Caleb's birthday. Because he was like, you know, this day I'm 85. And I don't know, we're not told, but.
give me the hill country's a B-Day gift. Come on, man.
So
That is good. Well, maybe
Yeah.
it was.
maybe it was.
And you said great application point talking to people. So if you're 60, you might have the best years of ministry ahead
Yeah.
of you. You know.
Absolutely, because you've got a lot of wisdom, you've got life experience. If you still have health and ability, man, your best days, because people are ready to listen to you, and you have so much to offer. Yeah.
Final thing I'll say, and this was really meaningful to me. You talked about how Caleb was effectively a foreigner. He was a Kenizzite, and I did not know, or didn't remember either one, that was in the line of Esau.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, there was this blessing. I mean, it kind of goes against this kind of misnomer that people talk about, like some kind of generational cursing.
Yeah.
And but the truth is, like, God blessed him, brought him and his family back into the fold.
Yeah. And so that was the most important thing about him was just his faith. And it's so easy to get attached to so many other things. You know, I'm this party, I'm this, you know, sports team, and we get so connected to it.
Yeah.
And I've done it too over the years.
Sure,
And
we all have.
and instead of realizing, no, the most important thing about me is my relationship with Christ, and that defines everything.
Well, and he was comfortable with it defining him. I guess we can finish this pod the same way that you, I guess it was the next to last thing you said about talking about how Christ is the greater Caleb, which by far, like, that is just always such nourishment to my soul. I think because back in my Sunday school days as a boy, that sort of thing, I felt like there was this impossible standard of like,
Yeah.
you need to be more like David. You need to
Yeah.
be more like Joshua, like Caleb, like these Othniel, like these guys from the Bible that are the mighty men.
Yeah,
But in reality, even those guys weren't mighty apart from the work of the Lord.
that's right.
And we have Christ to lean upon.
Yeah.
He's done it for us.
He's done it for us, and he empowers us. And so that's the joy, and I'm learning this more and more too. That's the joy of the Christian life is as we follow Jesus, like he lives his life through us, literally.
Yes.
And I mean, that's what John 15 talks about. So as we just stay connected to him, and we don't, yes, there is a place, there's spiritual discipline, there's things we do to put ourselves in position, but it's God's work. It's not, I'm going to try to be Caleb this week, and because we'll all fall short and we'll be frustrated.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, you and me are going to depend on God's work as we head into this next meeting.
Yes.
We're praying for you guys. We hope it's a great week where you're depending upon the finished work of Christ. Keep praying for Pastor because he's landed there in.
Is it Israel?
I think he's there by now.
Okay.
Yeah. So Pray for safety and for good ministry.
He'll be back. He'll be fired up, I'm sure, this Sunday, and
Yeah.
he'll have a lot to share.
I joked with the I didn't say it in second service, but first service I said, well, pastor's not been in the pulpit for 2 weeks, so you can expect a 67-minute message this coming week. So we'll see. We'll see. The gauntlet has been thrown, Pastor. Not that he ever watches this, but we love you, Pastor, and we love you, congregation, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Yep. Have a great week.
Say goodbye, Pastor Barry.
Goodbye.